Well, I think that any of the four would be confirmed. Thomas Hardiman is the one who, if you will, is flying under the radar screen the furthest. There are big differences between them. Thomas Hardiman, for instance, has been a judge since 2003. He was a district court judge for 3 years before being elevated to the Third Circuit. Amy Barrett, on the other hand, has only been a judge for a few months, but she had a very distinguished academic career before that, and has written on a lot of issues that conservatives care a lot about.
I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. We were joking earlier about a bit where a lot of kids on college campuses were asked what they thought of the president's nominee, and they all said they hated it before they found out that he hadn't made that nomination yet. But it is telling in that very likely any of his picks will please conservatives, and very likely any of his picks would disappoint liberals. Is that fair to say?
Well, that remains to be seen. I mean, conservatives, everybody has their favorite. You sort of hear whisper campaigns going on with criticisms of the potential nominees that the person doesn't like and praise for the one that they do like. I do think that once there is a nominee, the conservatives will largely rally around that nominee because, as I say, again, all four of them are excellent. And yeah, the Democrats are stealing for a fight, and I think this is going to make the Gorsuch confirmation hearing look like a minor dust-up.
Good. Do you worry still about the Souter phenomenon? And you'd almost have to be a Manchurian candidate, wouldn't you? Your whole career would have to be about fooling people into thinking you're a conservative. And how did that happen with Souter? Do you remember? Were you involved with that at all? And did he change? Was the vetting was... What happened there? I don't even understand how something like that could happen. But I guess
I wasn't involved in it, but here's how it could happen, and here's how it did happen. So David Souter was a fairly obscure justice on the New Hampshire Supreme Court, and just 4 or 5 months before he was elevated to the Supreme Court, he was confirmed to the First Circuit Court of Appeals. Almost all the rulings that he had made dealt with obscure issues of New Hampshire law. The president was looking for somebody who could get through those times like today are contentious times. And he had whispering in his ear two very influential people, John Sununu, his chief of staff, and Warren Rudman, who was a senator from Connecticut, said, don't worry, David Souter is our kind of guy. And of course, he, from a conservative's perspective, turned out to be not our kind of guy.
What are the big issues facing the court? I mean, we hear a lot about Roe versus Wade, but from a business perspective, are there other issues that our audience might be on the lookout for?
Well, it seems all anybody is hearing about is Roe versus Wade. You would think that abortion would be the only issue that would come up to the high court. Of course, they consider a whole variety of issues, many of interest to the business community, dealing with patents and arbitration, and any court that is going to be setting rules, particularly for businesses that rely on commercial certainty, has to care about who the nominee is going to be. People make very important life decisions and business decisions based on the law, and anything that unsettles the law in that kind of way is probably not good for business.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.